I'm really excited today because I'm going down south to Bangalore to meet the founders of one of the largest Shopify stores in this country. There are a few reasons why I'm so excited. One, I've always wanted to, start my own e-commerce store in India. So I'm going to be picking his brain so that I get some cool ideas on how to go about that. And let me tell you, this guy is not easy to get hold of. So I want to thank PayPal India for making all of this possible. So if you're an e-commerce entrepreneur who's selling in India right now or want to start selling in India, you want to pay attention to this video because I'm 100% sure you're going to learn a thing or two on how to build profitable e-commerce businesses in India, because the guy I'm going to meet is all about profitability. So let's go.
So I've actually reached the office of Marmeto Technology. So these guys are actually service providers for Shopify. They also have their own SaaS products, and we are actually going to interview him right here in their office. So let's meet up with the founder of Marmeto. Come on. Hey Shasha. Hi. How are you doing?
Good.
So you guys developed Qtrove, right? And from scratch.
Right.
So that was all you guys.
Right.
I want to know, like, what kind of experience did you have working with him? How is he as a person?
Right. So, Vinamra is that kind of entrepreneur for whom things has to happen now itself. So if he can think of something, it has to be executed now, then and there, right? So for us, it was like, being into the service industry, it's a bit difficult to manage on the timelines and to match up with his energies, but trust me, it was an awesome learning for us. Mm-hmm. We have built things which have never been built in Shopify, and that was only for Qtrove for the first time.
Maybe after interviewing him, I also get to learn a thing or two.
Definitely, I can definitely sense that.
Awesome, and keep up the good work.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, folks, it's time. You've been waiting for this. I have been waiting for this for a while now, but I'm finally sitting down with the one and only Vinamra from Qtrove. Hi, Naman.
Hi, pleasure is all mine.
Same here,
nice
man.
meeting you, Ritu.
So, Vinamra, I know you've built a solid business with Qtrove. Now, I want to know about your journey for those who don't know about what Qtrove is and what it stands for.
So I've been running business for the last 13 years, right? I have started, scaled, failed, exited. So I've seen the entire cycle, right? I sold last company Tasty Khana to Food Panda, and so around 2015 last quarter, early 2016, when food tech was at its peak, everybody is starting company left, right, and center. So I was thinking, why nobody's thinking about healthy packaged food for people who travel a lot and for millennials and professionals. So that's how the germ of the idea started. I can replace every product in your household with my better, healthy, natural, sustainable product. Every product in your household I can replace.
Okay, so why did you see a trend happening with this in this space? That is why you got into this?
So there were a couple of tectonic events that happened in the industry, right? If you see last 3, 4, 5 years, right, entrance of Patanjali came in where people started to discuss chemical free and chemical laden products. We have been eating food products, right? And now if you see, jam is not jam, right? Chocolate is not chocolate, ice cream, everything is adulterated, and maximum adulteration happens in food and personal care products.
Yeah.
Right? And you have so many cases of carcinogenic products coming in and all of that, right? Because of the democratization of information today, everything is at our disposal, right? We know now what we are eating and what we should eat. Imagine 25, 30 years back when our forefathers were there, right? I mean, we were very close to the source of origin and people used to pluck it from their farm and eat, right? Organic work came later. Ultimately, that was natural, in the most natural way people were eating. People didn't have refrigerator and all of that. That's why they were very healthy. And if you see, our grandfathers and grandmothers were very healthy at 80, 90 age. Now, if you see the entire thing, we are all going down.
All right. I got the point about this. Let's get into the meat of the things. All right. So my audience, whoever listening to this, so they already either run their own e-commerce businesses or they want to run. So let's talk marketing. All right. So the first thing that comes to mind is that, of course, you run a Shopify store. So why Shopify?
There are two options. When you hire a tech team, expensive tech team in a city like Bangalore, you keep on working towards it. But before tech and all of that, which is most expensive, I need to first prove if this business exists or not.
Right.
I need to do a POC. Now, when I did the entire search, right, I only came to Shopify. They are globally renowned, right? And they had by that time started making inroads in Indian market. and we were up and live in less than a week.
Wow.
Right? So now I am not worried whether my site today is down or right, it's not down, right? I'm not worried.
You're not worried about technological
I'm
things.
not.
You're only worried about selling, right?
People always overemphasize technology. It is all about sales. Sales is the main meat core, right? Everything else is hogwash or all empty talk.
Right.
I'm talking of 2016 when we piloted in the second half of 2016 in Bangalore with 30-35 products and 10-12 sellers to now 1500 sellers and 15,000 products. I'm still on Shopify. I have best of both worlds, right? I can do my customization the way I want, and I have the back-end support and the infrastructure of Shopify, which ensures that I don't lose my sleep when customers are buying.
You know, something interesting. So I actually read a couple more of your interviews, and you talk about profitability quite a bit, right?
Yeah.
So that is your core thing. Like, you want to be a profitable. You don't want to have like the cookie cutter cashbacks and all of those discounts, and you don't want to get into all of that, right?
Yeah.
So for those who want to actually become profitable, or at least who are struggling to become profitable in e-commerce, what would be the main things they should be focusing on?
See, any business, irrespective, should ultimately and should focus on money. I'm saying it may not happen that you are making money from day one, and especially in the e-commerce, right? When I'm delivering any order, am I delivering that at some profit or not? If you are not, then please don't get into it. Yes, there'll be some marketing money and other things will come in, right? And at scale, you eventually become overall profitable. But if your fundamentals are not strong, right? If you want to build a building, if your base is not strong, whatever foundation is not strong, if whatever you jazz at the top you make, it doesn't make any sense. Similarly here, right? So that was a very important thing, that I don't want to be another brick in the wall. Right, there are so many e-commerce companies fighting for the same wallet attention with the same cookie cutter approach of cashback, clearance, this, that. Right, so what is the point? What value are you adding to the ecosystem?
Right.
What different narrative are you trying to get in? Right. So from day one, we are very clear that our entire approach is different. Our entire value proposition is different. Discount should not be the core strategy.
So let's talk about like advertising, right? Because in order to sell something, you need online traffic, right?
Sure.
So what are the main advertising sources, traffic sources you focus on?
So as part of a POC, we said we will do a POC for 1 year, and it will depend on two things. And any e-commerce business and anybody who's listening on this, they should understand the entire e-commerce business is built into two factors. One is that how cheaply are you able to acquire the customer. Second is the retaining part of it, right? Which we call as LTV by CAC. So LTV is the lifetime value and CAC is the cost of a customer acquisition. So if LTV by CAC is positive, right, then your business is fundamentally in a sound position. When you raise money or not, that's an individual call. But unit economics is sound, then you are fine. And then we started doing digital marketing, right? So we focused on not only pure digital marketing, but we did a lot of other things. We were one of the earliest to do influencer marketing, right? So we started
Instagram or some other
Instagram, bloggers. We tied up with a lot of Instagrammers, and I didn't pay them. So the idea was that they were so happy with just the products, because we said we are a small startup, we can't pay you. So we tied up people with 10,000 followers to 1 million plus followers, right? And with the celebrities, models, actors, singers, all
Without
of them.
paying a penny.
I didn't pay anything.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So till date, we have tied up with 1,000 plus influencers across, right? If you see article, they'll be still which has given us a lot of backlinks, SEO, right? So not only Instagram or let's say Twitter, Facebook, of course, those are common thing. Apart from that, we also did a lot of blogs. There were a lot of popular bloggers are there. So they were genuinely happy. And the other thing we did differently was that standard influencer program happens that brand sends a product to an influencer. We said you buy as a customer.
Right.
Code.
So they go through the shopping experience also.
Yes. And many of them came back as a customer afterwards.
Right.
So that is something we believe in, the quality and the power of our products and the way we had advertised. So they kind of got enchanted by the way we were showcasing the products, and every product had its own utility to every customer.
And you've noticed like the retention rate is there and people keep buying repeat orders.
So the thing
from
is
your
that
store.
retention is the difficult part, right? So first we focus that if let's say I am consistently able to get customers at cheaper cost, and you won't believe that my cost of acquisition today is one of the lowest in the e-commerce. So even without focusing on discounts, I am able to crack this.
Right.
And now we want to just go all out and make sure that we reach to our next 10 million customers.
How many customers do you have right now?
So we are at around 200,000 customer base at this point across the country.
So I'll tell you a personal example. So I was actually testing out a new store, e-commerce store in India, just a sample thing. So I ran ads for a couple of days. I got a few orders, but all of them were like cash on delivery, right? COD. So that actually caused a little bit of panic inside me, because I was talking to my fulfillment provider. He was like,
COD have generally about 30% returns, right? Across the industry.
Yeah.
So do you see any way to combat that?
Any industry takes so much time, like decades to build. So if you see the first phase of e-commerce in India, starting from Flipkart at around 2007-8, and now it's been 10-11 years. So we were creating market, and to create market, you can't have a protectionist environment. So that time COD is a concept of India.
Right.
Now because of COD and the way the cash was coming back, right, companies started bleeding money. Note e-commerce today, because of COD and returns and all of, they're not able to make money. But if you see, the another tectonic event happened where Jio started, right? So Jio democratized everything, and also with the demonetization, people started coming in. You are now dealing with people who are now comfortable, and they have started being online consumers for the last 10 years, 5 years to 10 years. They are not concerned कि मेरा parcel आएगा कि नहीं आएगा. They are not concerned about that. Right now they want, okay, if I'm trying to get some extra discount with payment providers, right, they want security, they want assurance of a big brand, right? Let's say if there's some issue happens, a parcel gets broken, so how do you make sure that, right? So PayPal has this very unique so 180 days kind of a thing. So people want all of that. Emergence of PayPal has changed the dynamics, because here is a global player, right, which is not the market leader in India as of now.
So you don't know a little bit of history about me. So I actually run a e-commerce store in the US also.
Okay.
And about 65% of my orders, the US customers pay using PayPal.
So the thing is that there is like a standard, right? In India, PayPal coming in, it has created a lot of options also, right? That thing comes in with their globally trusted things like your security in terms of returning, and then their global security thing. All of that, I think, will add more and more trust to the consumer. So it's a combination of trust of platform, which comes from Shopify and Qtrove, and then finally to a fulfillment process which comes towards the payment providers, right? Because there are so many chargebacks can happen tomorrow, and if the payment gateways are not very vigilant, and they don't have a very crystal clear policies.
And that bleeds
right?
money, man, from your pocket.
And see, more than that, it also creates a very negative emotion in the customers, because then they start to distrust the system. It takes one incident to break 10 years of hard work suddenly, right? And people are very value conscious, and we as a nation, we don't trust things by default. Normally, the ratio of online versus COD, normally COD dominates with 50-60%. In our case, online payment dominates.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I think over time, as more and more adoption happens, as more and more start spending using credit cards, it's going to just be better.
Exactly.
For me, it's like, instead, don't use cash. Use this, right?
Exactly.
So that I get the upfront payment and I can ship the goods with confidence. I don't have to pay these
cash handling fees.
Handling fees, all of that.
You can prioritize the orders. Customers get preferential treatment. So from platform perspective, we always try to highlight payment gateway. So even if you go to our checkout page, it is a very secret sanctum sanctorum kind of a place. I don't want to distract user at that point, right? Because he's about to make a purchase.
You want to close the sale.
So I want to close this. So whatever last doubt that person has, I want to say, okay, get something out of it.
And what are your plans for like international expansion?
At this point in time, not immediately, but yes, by end of this financial year, we should definitely be opening different countries, especially the US, and that's where our partnership with PayPal will really be more.
Yeah, because
go to the next level, of course, right? International.
So you can actually have just one account and then
same account you can do it, because sellers don't have big teams to manage your finance, where it's coming from, all of that. So that PayPal gives a one check kind of functionality.
In India, like there are impulse buys happening all over the place. So I'll tell you actually a story about. So I remember 2005 or 6. So at that point, there used to be a guy selling bird cages in US. Okay. And he had created like a multi-million-dollar store out of it, just selling bird cages. So do you think there is a potential for Indians to create Indian e-commerce niche-based stores in like all sorts of different like small micro niches, and then like create profit out of it?
Yes, I mean there are so many examples where people have made money just by selling nameplates, and they are profitable, right? People selling headphones
in
India, yes. Yeah. People selling some quirky jewelries, right? And I know people in the Shopify ecosystem, right? They've been doing fantastic business. Number one, we are getting more disposable income. Our choice and all of that are becoming more broad. We are trying to experiment more, right? And the price points, if they are correct enough for somebody, okay, this is fine. Even if the thing is not bad, I'm okay with that. But let me experiment. That cohort of users have increased.
Yeah, so they see something they like, they want.
So if it's a bird cage or even something very quirky quirky, right, they will definitely buy it.
Hopeful, man. I'm telling you, this interview is going to give so many people so much hope because so much is possible.
Absolutely, yes.
So how do you go about like providing value? Let's say an item is priced at 500, but they're like, "Kash ye 300 ka hota hai. Maybe I could get it for 400." So how do you entice those customers?
That's a very good question. See, according to me, what I've realized is there are two ways to sell up or buy a product. One is a mechanical selling and buying. Let's say you want to buy an iPhone, you want to buy a Reebok shoe. Okay, what you do is you know the brand. You are only concerned about where I get the cheapest. You go to any of the marketplaces or you go to any of the offline stores. That's how it's a mechanical transaction. You're not emotional about it, right? You have to get it. You know the brand. Now compare it with another way of selling. Let's say Bangalore is popular for its Sunday Sol Sante, or you have every city has its own farmers market, flea markets. When you go there and you see a beautiful handmade soap sold by some small seller and they have a very fantastic story, now you get drawn towards that. Now that is emotion driven selling. You are drawn towards that world. So here the purpose, I want to contemporize and make it online. So the purpose here is that even if you don't buy from me, I'm okay, but you are engaged, it's fine. So my purpose is not to give you final transaction.
Your purpose is to sell the story.
I want to sell the story and slowly increase my steps towards your top of the mind recall, that whenever you find my ad in some of the digital or offline universe, oh, I saw that, let me buy that. This is a beautiful chocolate fudge made by some secret grandmother's recipe, or there's a secret honey coming from some Himalayan place. So that's beautiful. See, we are humans, right? We love storytelling. When we were small, our grandmothers used to tell stories and they are still stuck to our minds. Right. So storytelling is an important aspect of anything, and that is what we are trying to bring into commerce. So that's why we call as the 3 C's: content, community and commerce.
I'm a firm believer like selling through storytelling.
Exactly.
Which reminds me, knock knock.
Exactly.
Like knock knock.
Who's there?
Next question.
Okay.
So, what is next big thing for you? Like, where is Qtrove going? What do you want to do next?
We want to create a profitable, trusted, two-sided, democratically run marketplace.
So, a lot of people who are in the e-com space probably look up to you because of what you have done for selling your tasty khana, I believe, and now this. Let's say somebody owns a small sports retail outlet, and they want to start selling online. What are the core things they should be learning or focusing on so that they become successful?
Now again, the thing is that okay, you want to go online. The first thing is that okay, if that person is a tech guy or not, if it's not, most of them are not, you take a platform like Shopify, integrate payment gateways like PayPal, and immediately within 1 week you're up and running. Focus on get the basics of the business right. Correct. Focus on sales, focus on giving good customer service, right? Under promise and over deliver, right? And then focus on then how we can increase that word of mouth. Of course, you can keep on putting some money on digital marketing, all of that, but never lose sight of the core why you are there. You are delighting your customer with your product, right?
And in the end, making money out of it.
In the end, making money about it.
That's
yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
Lovely, man. Loved it. You've given me a lot of, and I hope a lot of people also who want to start off the ground, especially like people who are already selling, by listening to stories like this, they want to actually push harder and make bigger businesses.
I think that's also important, because if you see, we need a lot of employment creators in the country, and it is very, very important that people separate the grain from the chaff, right? And separate a lot of crap which is existing in the market and just focus on the core thing. And these things are very simple. People complicate things, right? You just simplify things is ABCD.
Seriously, man.
Right?
It's really
and that's
simple
how
to get online.
Exactly,
and
right.
so.
And it's very easy with technology enabled platforms like Shopify and PayPal. I think today anybody can start a business.
Yeah.
You don't need to be educated, you don't need to be IIT or Harvard written, nothing of that sort, right? Everybody is unique, everybody has his own talent. You start, within no time you're up and running.
So yeah, get to work. Anyways, man, Vinamra, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you for giving me the platform. I hope if I am able to inspire one person, this interview is sorted.
That's my goal with every video. Inspire just one person.
I also believe in that.
That's awesome, man. Lovely.
Okay.
Wow, this has been some pretty inspirational stuff so far. I'm so glad I made this journey. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, all the good stuff. My mind is racing with ideas and I hope yours is too. And listen, none of this would have been possible without the support of PayPal India. If there's one big key takeaway that I could take from this interview, it was that you should be aiming to collect customer payments upfront. So now, it's back to work.